Sort of themes. Go on, I'll watch it, Lara.
What are you?
Watching the lead halfway through.
Start for mine is Metamorphosis. My idea basically was a drama, and I wanted it named because that's what it's called when the caterpillar changes to a butterfly.
It's not a beetle.
I'm sorry, David Attenborough. What are you doing?
Well, it's based on the book then, yeah?
Yeah, which is an underlying metaphor for what happens to the main protagonist who blossoms into this new character. The main theme is the ideology of masculinity and femininity in today's society and how that affects people's behaviour and acceptance of other people. It's going to focus on a 19-year-old boy called Harvey. He's rough around the edges dad, and his best friend. The plot will revolve around Harvey coming of age and realising things about himself and wanting to experiment with his gender. He wants to do things such as makeup and more feminine things. And the film will be around 10 to 15 minutes long because there's a lot of tension, action, tensive moments that will need more time on screen than maybe just a normal shot to have full impact. And it will be set in a rough part of Manchester, somewhere not so clean cut, just to emphasise that people won't be accepting of his more exotic choices. The beginning of the plot starts with the anniversary of Harvey's mum's death, and I did that just so it was made more prominent that he wouldn't really have any female role models or anyone to kind of look up to for this type of thing. To proper isolate him, other than his best friend who doesn't really have any other women in his life. And we're introduced to his dad, who seems to be hurt, as he seems unaffected by the anniversary and just asks him to pass him a beer. He doesn't really offer any emotional support or anything like that. And he goes back to his bedroom and his friend invites herself over to cheer him up. And she asks him if he has his eye on body at the moment. And that sort of suggests to the audience that there's something not, ignorable about his sexuality, that maybe there's something a bit bigger there. And then she then puts some lipstick on him sort of as a joke, but that gives you another indication to what the problem might be. And then he's walking back from a shop the next day and he gets heckled in a homophobic way by some boys from college, and his dad hears it, which is revealed when he starts to jokingly ask if it's true, whether he's gay or not, and then that really intimidates him, so he sort of shrugs it off and claims that he's not, and then he gets really intimidated and worried about telling him. And then he speaks to Elizabeth and she's asking why he couldn't tell his dad about this, so he tries to explain, and then she realises that it's quite difficult for him. So she tries to suggest, for example, when you go to university that, he can change and he can be who he wants to be. And she says there's a party going on a few towns over and suggests that maybe he goes a bit more feminine, because she points out that no one will know who he is and it will sort of be a bit of an experimentation, and he's been really upset about speaking to his dad and stuff. If only for a night. And then, so he agrees, and the next night they're going to go out, and his dad's going out for the night, so he thinks he's in the clear. So he puts some makeup on, he gets ready, and his dad comes home and catches him, and they have a big argument because it's what his dad feared or confirmed. And it gets physical. His dad throws an ashtray at him, and then he knocks over a table with a photograph of Harvey and his mum when he was a kid, and a letter falls out the back, and she'd written him a letter and hid it there so he'd find it one day, about how she's sorry that she died due to an illness, and that he still love Harvey and accept whoever he turns out to be. And that is sort of a turning point for his dad, because he realises that he's already lost his wife, and losing his son would be even worse, because they've all each other got. And he has a realisation about that, so he goes and he apologises, and they end up working out in the end. And the film ends with a shot of his mum's grave and a butterfly lands on the top. So it all links back together, because his dad tells him the metaphor about the butterfly, about how some people don't accept the change, because they think that the caterpillar's died and it hasn't morphed into something, more beautiful. The idea came from, I came on the course because I tried to do something about gender identity in my last course, but I couldn't really pin down an idea that I really wanted to do, and I didn't want to rush it and then waste all of my, what I wanted to do on that idea on something I didn't believe that passionately about. So I came with it still in mind, and then when we got the module about writing the script, I thought it would be a perfect opportunity. And I've always been really intrigued by the subject and how, with the wave of people being more accepting, it's more allowed for you to not want to be the gender you assigned at birth. And I think it's really interesting how the change thing, like all the balance and stuff like that happens. And my curiosity has been heightened by other people coming out, such as Caitlyn Jenner, who was such an influential person in the media. And it was really interesting to see the world's reaction to it because she was thrown into it quite abruptly. And it was just really interesting. The theme, as I said, is masculinity and femininity, and how it has changed and shifted through time. And I looked at some psychologist papers on stuff like that and how it's changed from say 100 years ago. And it has an ongoing theme of family, sexuality and friendships. And they're quite sensitive subjects even to this day, especially transgender themes. I think that's still quite a taboo subject. So I had to be careful to handle it with poise and sensitivity. I've been to 5 locations. Harvey's bedroom, that's where most of the action is, so I'd have to, make sure I could get full coverage in the room for the fight scene and stuff like that. Elizabeth's room, Harvey's living room, the graveyard and the street for when he's being heckled in the street. And they all could be filmed in Manchester, in the flat and stuff like that in West Didsbury. And for the budget, I thought, much like other people, a GoFundMe page and the perks for the pledges, tickets to the screening, stuff like that, I think got me. The challenges, the thing I found most challenging is portraying transgender people in obviously a good light because it's still there's not that much in the media about it portrayed very well. It's always quite a negative thing, so I had to do a lot of research and try and handle it sensitively because I obviously didn't want anyone to read it or see it that was transgender and be offended or think that I wasn't doing it in a good way. And it was also hard to cut down my initial idea. I think I could have quite happily doubled the script and could have rambled forever. I just think it was brave. And also for the example of the fight scene, I was going to use sugar glass for the stuff, but because it's a fight scene, obviously the actors are going to fumble and mess up, and I'd need to think quite economically about the props I'm going to use. So I've the sugar glass ashtrays and stuff I need quite a few of those. And also the butterfly. On the grave, I am not the butterfly whisperer, so I'm not entirely sure how that one's going to pan out. Maybe that'll have to change. But, research, I did things such as I watched I Am Jazz, which is a documentary about a male to female teenager who's been on TV since she was a kid, saying that she had gender dysphoria and wanted to be the girl that she thought she was. And I also watched another documentary called She's a Boy I Knew, which was a film made up of archive footage, phone calls and animation about someone going through the change. And that was really interesting because he was already an adult and he was already married, and then he realised, quite an important part of his life, normally when he's settling down. And so he had to tell his wife and his family, and it was a lot more, frowned upon than someone than a teenager admitting it, I think. I watched the Alan Mortimer film, All About a Mother. That was really interesting as well, because that presented it in a more negative view. And YouTube videos about transition, so I knew more about the biology and the things that people normally wouldn't want to make a film about, the proper minion stuff, all this stuff. So, right, that's the end. Any questions?
Yeah, Alex, so just because it's not about somebody who's gay, it's within transgender, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a better theme, I think.
Oh, well,
I suppose it's the theme of this, it's the relationship between him and the father.
I've also got scripts.
And I suppose this is to do with the challenges faced with the realisation.
The realisation of it and telling people and the stigma that surrounds it.
And I suppose it's linked to a father relationship as well.
Yeah, ultimately, yeah.
I suppose I can see that happen. The only thing that sort of stood out is the letter. You wouldn't have the letter conveniently falling out. I think that was something that was sat on the mantelpiece. So you might even open the film post-funeral and they're all dressed in black. I don't know. Maybe you'd started that. I don't know. And there's a letter there.
Yeah.
And he doesn't open the letter. And then you're doing the foreshadowing thing, aren't you? Then?
Yeah, he never opens it.
Yeah. So exactly, he's supposed to open it, he can't open it, and then they have to fight, and then he sits there and he sees the letter on the mantelpiece. Yeah. He opens it. Or whatever, yeah. You sort of have to think, you'd have to engineer a bit more than it's conveniently following out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's maybe someone I'd maybe start it post funeral. The guests have left,
and then do a jump.
It's just him and the son. You know, you pick. It's that moment, and that's how you maybe kick off your film. Have you read the book?
Yeah.
Franz Kafka.
Yeah, I read it.
So that's when you kind of right.
Yeah.
How are you going to show just how bad his dad is about, like how badly he'd handle if he were gay or transgender?
He's quite a rough character, and he uses quite a lot of homophobic slurs when he thinks that his son might be gay. And when, for example, when they're talking, there's a part where his dad is leaving, and Harvey's like, "Oh, see you, have a good day." Before he can finish it, his dad just slams the door and walks out. And even when the anniversary of his wife's death, he has like no concern for his son, and he just doesn't really see. He seems like quite emotionally detached, so I think that'd be really interesting, and you could then see.
Sorry. With that, do you want to like make it subtle about it, or do you want it to be obvious that about his
I
relationship?
think it would be quite obvious, just to make his circumstance that much worse, because he couldn't confide in anyone really. So.
Well, that's an interesting thing, because maybe the relationship he had was one of honesty with the mother, but one of dishonesty with the father.
Yeah, that's the type of thing
dead,
that she's going for.
He's got to now build a relationship of honesty with his father.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
How are you going to handle like the homophobic slurs and stuff like that, like and not offending people and not being like overly aggressive?
Yeah, that was one of my concerns. I mean, I guess because his dad was quite homophobic, I think seeing the turnaround will not be as offensive as if he never changed his ways. He apologises and stuff like that, and he makes a complete turnaround. If I just left it at he was still homophobic at the end of it, I think it would be quite offensive. And it's clear that at that point he is like the bad person. He is the villain of the story as such. So I guess it's not like someone I'm putting on a pedestal in the script is being homophobic. So I don't think it would be.
What rating would you give it, like, because of kind of like the slurs in it? Like, what would you like recommend? You don't want like children like copying the slurs.
Yeah, I guess it'd probably be like 15 purely because of that there's a lot of offensive homophobic slurs and stuff like that, and it's not very accepted. So.
At any point, does Harvey actually say to his dad, "I am transgender. I want to be a girl"?
No, I didn't want that because I thought it's not very subtle. I get my story's not very subtle, but I wanted it. I wanted the reveal to be quite subtle because, like, he just knows because, like, it's his son. Wearing makeup, getting ready to go out, and like, because I think he already knew because he heard the boys at the shop, but it's that detached from his son that he doesn't want to believe it, and he doesn't think that it's true.
What are those key events, though, that you think will stand out as we progress through? Because it's 10 minutes maximum, 5 to 10 minutes, whatever, doing that sort of feel. What are those key events that we'll see?
When he comes back from visiting his mum's grave, he opens a box that she gave him, and there's little bits of makeup in there and stuff like that. So that's already quite strange because why would you keep?
Well, at least I was thinking wardrobe. Funnily enough, I was thinking he wants to throw the mother's clothes away, but actually he wants to keep the clothes.
Yeah.
And because this is a secret between the father and mother and son.
Yeah. He's going to be wearing the lipstick that she had.
Yeah.
Because why would
that's what he probably did with the mother.
That? Yeah. I thought maybe putting in a couple of flashbacks of her.
Does he come in the room and discover her wearing the wife's clothing?
That's a bit risky.
Interesting, but it's an interesting one.
It's
because if the son and the mother had this intimate relationship where she accepted him, her, but the father comes in and sees him dressed in the wife's clothes, and we get the shot from behind, and he thinks it's for a man walking in, he thinks it's his wife again. For a split second, and it turns and it's his son. Wow, that's pretty powerful stuff. How would he react? He probably would react, maybe.
I think it was an ashtray being thrown, and I don't have that much money for sugar glass.
Maybe you don't need. Maybe the ashtray isn't necessary. I don't know. Maybe you can do it in a different way.
Yeah.
I mean, if you imagine the scene, the father walks into the bedroom and there is his wife for that split second, and then turns and it becomes the son. That's and the son is caught.
So they give him like a shred of humanity because he thinks that he has his wife back, and then it's like ripped away.
Well, he does catch him dressed like a girl wearing makeup, doesn't he? In this,
it'd be interesting maybe to put like some of her earrings on the lipstick, you know, just subtly.
Yeah.
Are you going to cast a feminine boy for it?
That's going to be one of the.
I think it's an interesting one because you don't want to go too far down that, do you?
No,
Give it away. Give it away too soon.
The only thing I would do is this sounds quite, you know, a bit harsh. I would cast one that has feminine enough features so the makeup doesn't look too out of place. I mean, it's nothing heavy, but you know, just sort of.
Like, yeah,
I would hire someone like muscly, like
a big beard.
Yeah, you know, someone that looks quite young and naive and sort of.
So yeah,
that type of thing.
Because it should be. I think naivety to me means innocence.
Yeah.
As well, so it could be.
Yeah. It's almost childlike the way you just. Yeah.
Because what's wrong with it?
Yeah.
If you're transgender, you're transgender. You're a male stuck in a female body, or vice versa. It's one or the other. But funny enough, I knew somebody who was transgender, and they had to cope with these battles. So it might. I mean, talk to somebody who's transgender. You know, these are the battles that they face. Yeah. Except, you know, and it's quite current as well. I think I'm glad you're going down that route with your story, not somebody who's gay, because that's been. Yeah. No disrespect.
We've hit 16 minutes.
Yeah. I was interested because I've done some mentoring for young transgender people.